close, we don't know much about a new creature in Star Wars The Last Jedi, but we still want one. USA Today. Without the inclusion of mystical creatures, a galaxy far, far away would look just like, well, Ireland. In Star Wars The Last Jedi in theaters now, in addition to the regular aliens, droids and Chewbacca, filmmakers created brand new otherworldly species that injected extra magic into filming locations like Skellig Michael, the real location of Luke Skywalker's Mark Hamill remote island. So what's the deal with these new creatures? Ben Morris, creative director at Industrial Light Magic ILM, says his team of 1,000 artists created more than the expected fantasy in director Rian Johnson's new chapter of Star Wars, contributing to 2,000 shots in the final film. Spoilers: these are the big Last Jedi reveals. You're looking for more. The new Chewbacca feels bad about shoving a porg in The Last Jedi. Everything we created was in service of the story, rather than spectacle just for the sake of spectacle, Morris says. Audiences have become too sensitized to this kind of use of visual effects and can quickly become bored if there isn't a compelling story to justify the imagery. We have every confidence that the audience will believe the character is part of the world it inhabits and the story the director is trying to tell. Morris chatted with USA Today about who the new non-human characters are and how they got their looks. Porg's hometown Archto, Luke Skywalker's remote island. What there when we were on Skellig Michael, which stands in for Archto, it had tens of thousands of puffins, says Morris. It's no surprise that The Last Jedi's no famous porgs look and act a lot like those inquisitive seabirds, only fatter, furrier, louder and beakless. Behind the scenes, about half of the porgs seen on screen were puppets, says Morris, but their adorable eyes were too big to open and close in real life. The visual effects team added the blinking, twitching and breathing to the playful creatures. Vulptex to crystal critters called vulptex make magical, jingling sounds. Photo: Lucasfilm hometown crate, the salt-covered mineral planet. What they're like foxes, if foxes had horns and a layer of 25,000 crystals instead of fur. The magical creatures' coats refract light to show shimmering rainbows of color. Behind the scenes, the critters took the look from an abstract piece of crystal sculpture, says Morris. The idea was, what happens if you replace fur with crystals? Fathiers. The fathiers are a giant mix of horse, dog, cat and even lion in the face. Photo: Jonathan Ollie, Lucasfilm Limited. Hometown Canto Bight, the wealthy city with casinos and fathier races. What they're the first thing the director wanted to speak about 3 years ago when planning began on The Last Jedi, Morris says. Though they're enormous, rideable and reminiscent of the Tauntauns in The Empire Strikes Back, the fathiers are a completely new species that's a mixture of a giant horse, dog, cat and lion, says Morris. The gentle giants can run 50 miles per hour, which is why they're used for racing, and are large enough for a 6-foot man to stand under the bellies. Behind the scenes, the space horses, which have more than 1 million strands of fur, were created completely by the digital effects team. Actors performed on a riding rig before ILM turned the imaginary animal beneath them into a huge, imposing physical presence with a very sympathetic look because they've been abused by the horrible culture of the racetrack. The key to the innocent expression. Big eyes. Caretakers. The caretakers have heads like fish and feet like birds. Photo: Jonathan Ollie, Lucasfilm Limited. Hometown Archto. What they are: the fish-like anthropomorphic amphibians are the preservationists on the centuries-old island. Knock down a rock formation, and you'll tick off the alpha male fish nuns, who mumble in their own language. Behind the scenes, wait for the deleted scenes, says Morris, because then you might see what the male caretakers who were cut from the film look like. Human actors brought the bipedal animals to life, but ILM turned the feet into bird-like ones. BB9E was referred to as BB-8 during filming. Photo: Industrial Light Magic, Lucasfilm hometown Starkiller Base. What he is: he looks a lot like a good droid BB-8, but the baddie is black with more surface details, grills and dark holes, says Morris. Instead of BB-8's higher-pitched wee sounds, BB-9's noises are lower and can sound like flatulence. Behind the scenes, BB-8, as Morris' team called the droid, is a real robot. However, visual effects artists spent plenty of time working on the droid in post-production because they had to erase the reflection of the film crew from his shiny body. Review stellar Star Wars The Last Jedi throws a few twists into the space opera earlier. Everything you'll want to know about porgs. Those adorable breakout stars. Also 13 very basic Star Wars things to know if you've never seen the movie. Disclose Daisy Ridley's Rey and Adam Driver's Kylo Ren are front and center alongside co-stars Mark Hamill, John Boyega and Carrie Fisher in the new trailer for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Lucasfilm Reddit shared this story. https://usat.ly2bos2op